You have everything turned down?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Oh, where you at? There you are. We're here. We're here. As soon as we turn the laptop on, it decides it wants to update on us. You know how that works. Oh, like usual. It's always something with this channel, I tell you. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Prepared. How are you doing? How's that weather up there, Prepared? I know it's crazy down here. Windstorms everywhere. How's Trish?
No.
Prepared wants to know how you doing.
Ugh. This weather changed too fast for me.
Guys, welcome back to the Country Caller. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It changed too fast. It went from being 64 at 2 o'clock this morning to 20 something this afternoon. Can't handle this, guys. Can't handle this.
She don't like the cold weather.
I hate cold.
I don't personally like it, but it don't bother me as much, I guess.
I don't like the cold. I don't like the cold.
Be ready for work tonight. It's interesting. Uh-oh.
Why? I'm tell Timmy he has to stay for me, Lisa.
Weather's been terrible. Prepared. Oh, I know. It was nice here for a couple of days, and now we got the wind, and now it's coming the cold.
Hey, oh, I'm used to that.
I told Trish we're moving up to we figured out where we want to go, guys. We're going to the Upper Peninsula
of
Michigan.
Not. No, we're not.
30 inches of snow coming.
No, we're not. No,
that winds up to 75 mile an hour.
No, we're not. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Trees are down. You have a question? I have a question for you later about electric chainsaws. If we get a chance. More on store buildings down. Oh. Well prepared. You can ask your question anytime you want, buddy. If you want to ask it now, that's fine too. Before we start, we can touch base on that. Hey, all, thank you for stopping by. Trish Stevens, who's that? I thought your name was Trisha. You tell everybody. Is that like Patricia? I know which one to hit. Oh, you put a period there.
I did. I hit the wrong button.
See, I made you mad. Yeah, Prepared. If you want to know something about electric chainsaws and you want to ask it now, that's okay too, buddy. Before we get started on just kind of doing a recap of the videos, for those of you that maybe not seen them, or for people that have questions about the videos that I put out, because I want to thank everybody for all the views. We are at over 2,000 views on one video, and I mean, look, 2,000 views on one in the last couple of days, and then the other one I put out yesterday. Okay, I gotta get rid of that. I put out the other one yesterday, and it's if it will load, that's not what I want. No, that's not what I want. It's at 233 views since yesterday afternoon. So I'm very proud of that. Never expected in a million years. They're prepared. There's a lot of different ones. CC is one. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's an odd name. I got an Amazon gift card for Christmas that I want to put towards electric chainsaw. Have you any thoughts about the best one? I'll probably need a 14 or 16 inch bar. Be on the safe side. The bar size depends on what you're cutting. Prepared. If you're going to cut down, obviously you're not cutting down, red oaks. Or them California trees. But 14, 16 inches for your regular, your normal everyday trees. Um, let me, but where's it at? Um, there are different ones on Amazon. Um, you could even let me look real quick. I don't want to give you the wrong information because I look at a lot of different sites. I want to make sure this is where I saw it at. Um, uh, yeah, that's what I thought. The one I was looking at, okay. They have Senix. Senix is another good brand. Um, where's that one at? The CC I see is 100. That's not bad. I mean, those are actually pretty decent saws from what I understand. I did watch some videos on them. Um, but if I were you, I would go with either the CC or the Senix. It's Senix. Unless again, if you go in, it depends how much you want to spend. You can go into the Ego Power; those are really good. But they're a lot more expensive, obviously. Um, uh, it depends on what the voltage you want to, but the CCs are nice. Again, Senix, it's Senix, yeah. Um, you don't want the corded ones. Don't ever buy a corded one. Wild Badger are supposedly okay. Um, they say they lose a lot of power sometimes, but I've seen reviews on them. But you can't trust YouTuber reviews because a lot of them are paid promotion. Um, yeah, but if you're trying to stay on a budget like we are, and I'm sure you probably are too, I would go with either the CC or the Senix. That's what I was looking at doing. Um, what's the matter, Odin? Odin don't like the wind that's raining or something. That's just the wind?
That's the wind on the siding.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first too. And I looked out and there was nothing on the window.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when I went out and found that the
skirting
was coming. So I fixed it.
Okay.
I mean, I might have to fix it again tomorrow morning, but the winds are supposed to die down at around 1 a.m. So
right.
I mean, it's still supposed to be windy tomorrow, but not as bad. They
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
They clocked a wind gust at 12 o'clock in Pittsburgh at 62 miles an hour.
Which is about an hour from us, hour or so.
Yep.
Let me look that up.
So yeah, I mean the winds have been not nice today. Not nice at all. Odin is death afraid of the wind.
Odin has extreme anxiety.
He has extreme anxiety with the wind, thunderstorms, like when it thunders. This poor dog, and I've tried everything that I could to help him. He doesn't like, he won't take the anxiety meds that I give him.
He'll eat them at first, and then
I think it's because it makes him feel funny, so he doesn't want to. He doesn't want them, but I mean, he shakes unbelievably.
with this real quick.
Come here, Odie. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Come on. You're fine.
You're okay.
You're okay. You're good. It's okay. It's okay. I know, buddy.
Yeah, the difference, the only difference between the Senix and the CC, the Senix is
Come here.
is a little better brand.
Come on.
With the CC, you get more stuff with it.
You're okay.
But those batteries are they're cheap batteries. Those are the kind of batteries you get like Harbor Freight or a lot of off-brand stuff. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. I'm having anxiety because of the wind. It's making my house creak and making all kinds of noise, huh? I say hi. But yeah, it depends on what you want to spend. Like I said, CC will work. They're good. They're decent from reviews that I've seen.
Okay.
But the Senix is like a step up from it. That's why you get less with it. It's a better battery. It probably lasts a little longer. Probably get more out of it. Even though they're both 4-hour batteries, 4-amp-hour batteries. It just depends on your budget and what you're willing to spend. Look at him hanging his head down. But yeah, so it all varies.
It's okay.
What you're looking to spend. Poor Odie Bodie, hugs, buddy. Tina said hugs for Odin. But yeah, like I said, if you're not planning on doing a ton of work with it, that'll work fine for you. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Obviously, you want something to last. You want something that's going to work. Like I said, I've seen reviews on them. They say they're decent for homeowners. Your regular DIYers.
He wants dad.
He wants dad. Come on up here. Come on up. I know he likes to hug on daddy whenever he's sad, whenever he's scared, just like all the rest of the kids, huh? But yes, okay, come on, go. Oh, now he wants mom. Okay, I tell him to go, so then he goes to mom. Like, mom won't make me leave. But yeah, they're they can be expensive. They had a sale once on the one I wanted, and then I missed the sale. It was a Cobalt. I think it was 80 volt, but it was like $300. But that was a lot to pay for an electric chainsaw. But I'm going to be using it for a lot more things than your average homeowner DIYer. But yeah, when I buy my electric one, I'm going to go with the Senix, I believe. Like I said, I've done reviews on the Senix and the CC, and they say they're good chainsaws. A lot of people are raving about the gas chainsaws on the one app I have. Well, I've told you guys about before. I looked up on Beaver. That's the 62cc. Oh, no, that's a gas chainsaw. Or there's 58cc too. And they're like $100. So I'm going to get electric and a gas. That's what I think I'm going to do. Just always have backup, But yeah, they're good to have around. You know what I mean? And like I said, you don't need something you don't need a professional chainsaw. If you're just your average homeowner doing, a few tree limbs or few small trees here and there. Odie Bodie. Sorry, guys. I know. You're just sad. I know. You're scared. Go lay in your bed. Go ahead. Go lay down. I'm right here. But yeah. I wanted to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for all the views. Like I said, we never thought in a million years that, obviously I understand that videos touches a lot of bases, and I don't want to say hit nerves, wasn't what I'm looking for, but it has some important information in it. And a lot of people, because I see people on Facebook, on YouTube, I see people, every day talking about, homesteading, and they jump right in it. We've seen how many people jump right in and have no clue what the regulations are, right. Building codes. They need a septic or they don't. They have no clue on needing permits. These are things that you gotta find out. And not only, but like I said in the video, not only the county, but sometimes there's state codes, and that's what you got to pay attention to. People think they either got to pay attention to just the state or just the county. You got to pay attention to both. And that's where it becomes dangerous, because you buy a piece of land and you sell your house and you buy this piece of land and you get there and you find out you're doing your thing and you're living life and you're building, and then you get some guy walking up on your property talking about, this is not right. This is not right. Oh no, you got to do this, you do that, do this, do that. And they're fining you. The fines can become expensive. And yeah, I mean, people to get around it. I have a lot of comments about people saying, just don't tell them, and, don't tell people what you're doing. And, a lot about the government, a lot about political, there's a lot involved in it. But you got to be careful. And, I mean, it is what it is. We're at 139 subscribers now, guys. I appreciate everybody. We thank everybody, all the comments, all the subscribers, all the people with views. We never expected that. I know I didn't. Your videos were doing good. My videos don't. I mean, they do okay, but I talk about things that I think are important to people that are in that mindset, either thinking about homesteading or thinking about buying land or considering it or are in the process of wanting to do it. And then one of our subscribers, we talked about in the past, he moved to Arizona. He bought a piece of land in Arizona. And he brought up a good point. Last night I told you about that comment he left. He said he thinks about us all the time. Every time he just got there, about 3 weeks now, maybe a month. And he didn't open anything that he bought to take with him and check it all out. And he said he thinks about us all the time because we have videos in the beginning of our channel when we were buying, a lot of stuff, which we'll get back to too. But he said he thinks about us because he's had some problems with some of the things that he bought and never opened it and checked, checked it out and see what it was about, or whether it came with everything it was supposed to come with, or I guess he got a water storage bag and it's leaking, and it can be, these are other things you have to think about. You know what I mean? All the supplies you need. Some things you can't, test 100%. But other things you can. I mean, like here, when I buy panels, I'm not able to really hook them up, due to our rules where we live. Chainsaw, I mean, I can't go out in the middle, and cut down somebody's tree. And what you got to understand is, there's woods everywhere all around us, but somebody owns that, even though it may not be a house on it, it may not be anything on it. Someone owns that. So I can just walk up and pull off the side of the road and go in and start, chesting my chainsaw on these trees. You know what I mean? You still got to be very clear that, somebody owns all the properties, whether there's a house on it, there's signs of activity or not. You got to be very careful with that. So, we got to be, with it being winter and stuff, state parks are closed because a lot of times they have down trees you can go and grab and bring, home or whatever to use, But, you got to be very careful with where you go and what you want to do. Like I said, depending on where you want and prepare. You asked me about Oklahoma in one of the comments. Excuse me, guys. My allergies are acting up pretty bad today. It's this room, I think. This room doesn't like me, I don't think. You know what I mean? Gosh. That post-nasal drip.
It's part of it. Part of it is the dry heat, too.
Yeah, the heat's been on. But you asked me about Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's just like Missouri. Well, they're actually pretty close. Well, actually, they are side by side. But the one YouTuber I watch, he lives in Oklahoma and his parents live in Missouri. And it's only like 45 minutes away. But their regulations they're not real strict. They're not real steep. You can, they have, anywhere you go, you're going to have restrictions. There's nowhere, like we were talking about today, I don't want to be anywhere where there is no restrictions. Okay. I don't want to, be, because what the problem is, like I mentioned in one of the videos, what the problem is, we have no restrictions. That's when you got people that got junkyards and they got garbage thrown all through their property, and they got animals running wild and dogs running free, and there's no rules, so you get people that see that as okay, no rules, I can do whatever I want, and they do. You get people that's running their sewage right out the back of their camper or their cabin or their shed right into the woods. No tanks, no even barrels in the ground. They're just running it right off into the woods, a couple hundred yards from there where they're at. You can't have that either. So we don't expect there to be no regulations, but some of these regulations are just outlandish. Like parts of California, you can't even collect rainwater. Oregon is another place. And there is ways to get around I don't want to say get around. There's workarounds to regulations. Like for instance, we had looked in the desert area at one point, as everybody knows. We decided that's not going to be for us. But a lot of the rules in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Nevada was you had to have septic, and it had to be like put in by like a company, you know what I mean? A licensed company, a licensed contractor. And a lot of people that's that can be expensive, $7, $8, $9,000 up front. But there's ways they'll work with you on the restrictions up to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So one way we talked about doing was you can run a porta potty, and when you run a porta potty, it's maybe $100 a month. I looked into it, maybe 80 to 100, 75 to $100 a month. Yes, it costs money, but it's not $10,000 out of your pocket right here, right now. They come in, they empty it every once a week, they clean it, do all that once a week. That's part of you running it. That's a workaround the needing the septic right away. During they give you time. They give you, I think it's up to a year, and after a year you can put in another permit for another some amount of time, whatnot. So there's there's ways people want to say like, oh well, the restrictions. Yes, some of the restrictions are crazy and off the wall. Like you can't collect water, and you gotta. Like for instance, another thing, and like I talked about in the video, Arizona, Nevada, Texas, New Mexico. For those of you who don't understand, black water is your toilet water, things like that. Gray water would be your shower water, your dish water, sink water, anything like that. Now, most places, gray water is not considered toxic. You can you can drain it wherever if you want. But in the desert areas, Colorado, it's considered black water, so it has to be funneled into your sanitation, which then means you need a bigger tank. You need it takes a bigger tank because you're putting more into it, more or less, and that becomes a problem because that water you can it's not going to really hurt. I mean, a lot of the soaps nowadays you can buy are biodegradable and environment friendly and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Now your toilet paper and things, yes, you can get biodegradable toilet paper, but it's stupid expensive. Compostable toilet paper, things like that. And I mean, obviously waste is compostable. You have composting toilets. And again, those are ways around having to put in the septic right away. They'll give you time to work towards it. A lot of places understand you just bought this land. You don't have a lot of money to just be thrown. What? Audi, my connection is crap right now. I've been watching a bit, maybe a minute behind live. I had 2 puddles under my Jeep where the water keeps dripping. Oh no, that's not good. But we'll appreciate you being here. We talk about you all the time being out there in Arizona. This is the subscriber I was telling you guys about that just moved a month ago, doing big things down there. He got himself a little shack build, and
we watch his videos all the time.
Making bricks. He's making his own bricks.
I'm gonna go get some more coffee.
It's more coffee time already?
Don't be chugging it.
I wasn't. It took 2 drinks. But man, poor guy had a hard time. Car broke down on the way there. Other things. Go check out his channel, guys. I mean, he's got some decent videos that teach you. You can learn by some of the mistakes that he's made, and he's learning by the mistakes he's made. And like my dad always taught me, you can't learn until you make mistakes. I found in Arizona you can do a composting toilet and get it permitted. That'll work for an occupancy permit. And say you can build up to 600 square feet. See, there you go. There's ways around it. You know what I mean? And that's another thing you have to look into. You have to find out what the laws are, what the rules are, what the building codes are, what the zoning laws are. Then find out what your options are around, not like I said, not around it, to work into it until you can get that done. Because I understand. Yeah, right. Chickers, I know that. Yeah, right. A kitchen. That's what I was just telling them. Kitchen sink is black water, and that's different. You know what I mean? From a lot of different places. But there's other ways that you can do it until you can get that put in, until you can get septic put in, or until you can get a foundation put in, or a lot of places you'll let you stay in your RV while you're working, as long as you show that you're in the middle of construction, and things like that, so you can break it down. It's not all, doesn't all have to be at once, come out of one lump sum. But these are the questions you have to ask. These are the things you have to find out. Because I know there's people I've seen on YouTube, and people I've talked to that I know personally have bought land and not known what the rule, zoning laws and things are, and went and jumped in feet first, and it caused them a whole lot of problems because they weren't ready for what they were getting into. They didn't have the supplies they needed. They didn't check temperatures, yearly temperatures. They didn't, find out how far the electric pole was from their land or how much it's going to cost, because that costs a lot of money, guys. You'll see on these sites it'll say electric nearby, but say it's 300 yards, 400 yards, 500 yards. The pole is. You got to pay to trench that line in. You got to pay to put the temporary pole up, get the box and the meter. They'll put the meter up, but you got to pay for an electrician to come in. So that costs money. So you need to know what kind of sunlight you get on every month of the year, like what's your average sunlight. You got to know if solar's allowed. You know what I mean? Some places, believe it or not, solar's not allowed. They don't want you to have solar. What their reasoning is hey, whatever, it's up to them. I know I won't be going there. But yeah, our buddy, Chiggers, that snowboarder, that's some snowboarder. He's got a bunch of videos out there. You guys go check him out and subscribe. He's been with us for a while now, and he's been a big help. I see his videos, and we've talked a few times about things. Oh, thank you. He ran into a couple problems. But go watch his videos. You'll be able to see those things. He ran into a few problems when he first got there, and he handled it. And that's what it's going to take, guys. There's going to be restrictions. Took him a month to get decent Wi-Fi. Yeah, I can imagine. That's one of the things that you have to work. You have to find out about it. Is there Wi-Fi where you're at? Is your phone going to have signal? If you use like we use 5G internet through T-Mobile, is it going to have signal? Is there cable internet there? Is there because you might another good thing to buy would be if you don't find these things out, so you can get that Elon Musk internet. I can't remember what it's called now. Starlink. Sorry guys, my brain getting a brain fart there. You get the Starlink. And they've been dropping the rates on that. It's expensive at first. It's like $300 for the equipment, and I think it's like $60 or $70 a month. But you can, you know what I mean. You put it down, and it's on a stand, and it rotates to the best possible position. Yeah, see, he built a shed 8x12 that cost him less than $500, and his land only cost him $1,600. So like I said, that's those kind of places are always an option. But no matter where you're going or what you're thinking about, you got to find out the rules, the regulations, the zoning laws, and when you find out those things, you can call the county courthouse, and they'll give you all the information you need. Find out the person you're talking. The other number one thing I didn't talk about is find out the person you're talking to when you call the county. Find out if the deed is in their name in the courthouse, because there's been a lot of scams going on with people selling other people's property and it's not theirs. Don't want that happening. Chiggers, some snowboarder had an issue sort of like that where the company messed up, but I won't give out his information.
Go watch his channel.
It's on one of his videos. Yeah, he's been dealing with some situations. But these are real big things, man. I mean, like, you got to research. We do a lot of research. Research products, research, areas. Because a lot of places say, oh yeah, they're, big homesteading area, but then there's that one thing that you don't know about. And especially if you're doing, not financing, but like how we're going to go, they have their own set of rules and regulations. You know what I mean? So you got to know that too. Owner financing, you got to know what their, rules are. And then you got setbacks. So locals tell me there's one inspector for the whole county. So they just do their thing mostly right. And that's what I'm talking about. He seems like he's got a good community around him. And then that's what you want. You want to go somewhere where hopefully there's a good community. Find out about the community that you're looking at. Find out. I mean, you may not be able to, go there all the time. Like some of the places we're thinking about are 12, 14, hours away. So we can't always just go there and talk to people and hit the ground. You know what I mean? But get on Facebook, ask questions. Look for, get on Facebook and find there might be a page for that area. Homesteading in Arkansas, Perry County, such and such. You know what I mean? There might be, they might have a community on Facebook. And I know, us old folks, we do Facebook, and then they got TikTok and Snapchats and X now. But Facebook is still a very good commodity. Speaking of, guys, there's a link down below for our Facebook channel. The Country Called Us. I don't post much over there because I didn't never put it in. But I'm going to start posting more over there. I posted in the community page. My daughter made us some pictures for a logo that we're going to use. I know we just changed the logo, but we might keep that for a while. But we're going to eventually have some merch. And, it's a poll. There's a poll. I'd like for you guys to go check it out and vote on the one you guys like. Maybe we'll, it's still our decision, but Trisha's getting me that face. Like, I hope they like the one I like. But, yeah.
I mean, I like them all, but there's one in particular that I really, really like. So head over, take the poll, tell us what you think. And I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but I'm hoping that y'all pick the one that I picked.
The roads are horrible. Washboard rumble. Any rain and it's a mud pit. Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. And these are things, like he's working on now. He, and again, go watch his channel, but I'll give you some insight on it. The one video he made, it was him dragging his road, making a driveway. How he did that was very innovative. And that's the point of being homesteading and being off-grid and doing your own thing. Is everybody wants to call in excavators and call in, excavated companies and backhoes and dozers. Back in the 1800s, they didn't have that choice. You had to find a way to get it done. And that's what we want to do. And don't get me wrong, we can't, at times we won't call in these people if we need help. But if we can't find a way to do it ourselves cheaper or a better way, then then we'll do that. But you want to try to find a way to do it. You spend your morning trying out quick claim deed to settle the land issue here. Court crack, yeah. He's got a lot of issues with the land issues down there, guys. But go check out his, I can't say it again 1,000 times. Go check out his channel. You'll learn a lot from some of the videos that he's already made. And we look forward to watching your videos, Sugar. You know what I mean? You're an inspiration. We see you doing it. We know we can do it. Like you started, like you said, with nothing, and look where you're at. You've already got, you got your little shack up. You got making bricks.
The brick video was really cool.
You drug the road. You're doing big things, my man. You got your Wi-Fi now. You got your solar out. You're telling me about. And it seems like the community has your back, and that's another big thing. Homesteading communities are like none other. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure you have neighbors where you live and you're friends with your neighbors and everybody looks out for everybody. But homesteading communities are like none other. 90% of the time, I mean, not all the time, because you get that one bad apple sometimes, or that one bad situation, but they look out for each other, and that's what you want. You put your political beliefs behind, your religious beliefs behind you. You put it all behind you to help each other, and that's what drew. That's another one of the things that drew us into the homesteading is the community itself. And like you guys, since we've been, on YouTube and whatnot, we've grown our community, and you guys have been amazing, and we love all of you, and you guys are inspiration to us, and make us want to push harder and get, if it wasn't winter, we'd be gone already. I'll tell you that right now. Because we're ready to go. We may not have everything we need. You're never going to have everything you need. You think you have everything, and you're going to get there, and you're going to realize, man, how do we forget that? The simplest little thing, how do we forget that? I'm going to say, it's your fault. I'm blaming her.
I'm not the one that orders things. He does.
But I'm blaming her because she didn't remind me.
Listen.
Right, the sheriff was able to call and see, right? You were saying that on your video, yeah. And that's a good thing. Good thing you had that paperwork, good thing you had proof of all that, Chiggers, you know what I mean? Yeah, but there's a lot of things you're not going to think of. There's things you're going to forget. And you're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I need this, I need that. But like I said, first things first, you got to find out what you are allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. Again, I was talking about setbacks. A lot of counties have certain setback from the road. Even though your property meets up to the road, they want you can't put up a fence. Some of them are like 175 feet, some are 300 feet. And then they have setbacks from the edge of your property. You can't put a fence. So, you can't put a fence on the exact edge of your property. It's got to be back a little bit. So you need to find those things out, because you don't want to put in a fence and pay all the money to put in a fence and dig all the holes.
Just to rip it out and move it.
Either put up the boards or string the barbed wire or whatever you do, just to T-posts, and just to have to rip it out and do it all over again. Which I'm sure will happen with a lot of other things. But we're trying to make the things that we can control. But I'm going to blame her because that's my brain. She's the common sense of the whole outfit here. You know what I mean? I'm compulsive, guys. I think I do. You know what I mean? I don't think about it.
He doesn't have a filter.
Right. So that's why I got to be careful when I'm on here, because I got to think about everything I say, because what goes in the head comes out the mouth, guys. You know what I mean?
That's the way he's always been.
And you'll see. I'm sure in later videos it won't be as we try to stay as family friendly as possible, but I'm sure there'll be some non-family friendly videos.
If I have anything to say about it, no, there won't.
I'm saying by accident. There'll be a cuss word slip here, a cuss word slip.
Oh, like
there.
I did the other night on the live.
Right. But yeah, like I was just saying, like about your septic. Septic is big everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you're gonna have to have septic. But there's composting toilets. There's incinerator toilets, which are kind of crazy if you ask me. I never thought in a million years I would see a toilet that you can catch on fire. Oh, you don't catch a toilet on fire, but there's a fire pit inside underneath the toilet. All the stuff goes into this box, and you light it. From what I understand, from what I've seen on, you know what I mean, incinerator toilets. I'm like, what? Or it goes to a spot to where you can, like, you burn it, like, you know what I mean.
That would stink.
But it's a way around.
Well, yeah.
For amount of time until you can get the septic in. In some places, you have to do it by a licensed contractor. Some places they'll let you dig it yourself, and just you have to put in certain things. Um, some places you can. I've seen people make their own septic tanks out of blue barrels and pipes, and that was okay in that area. There's a lot of videos on that on YouTube where they show you how to build the DIY septic tank. Then there's other places where it has to be cement. There's other places where it has to be the 2-chamber plastic.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then it has to be so far away
from your living residence.
And then how many people's going to be in the residence depends on how big the tank has to be. Then there's other places that are a little bit laxated, but you still have to have it. You know what I mean? They still want you to have it. But there's ways to hold that off for a little while until you can spend that kind of money. And yes, it always involves money. And a couple comments we read said, people think going off grid is going to save them money and this cheap lifestyle. If you think going off grid is a cheap lifestyle, then there's something wrong with you. Because you need electric, you need water.
You need all the same
sewage.
things, right? You need all the same things that you do if you don't live off grid.
You need walls, you need, floors, roof. So you need to build those things. You need to have those things. You need to provide those things. It's not like moving into an apartment. The walls, the ceilings, the roof, the electric, the water, the gas, it's already here. You just got to have it turned on. No, you got to dig the lines for all this. You got to put the lines for the water in. You got to, dig the well. You got to put buy the propane tank, all that. So yes, in the beginning, it costs money, and it costs more money than it does to live this way. But there comes a point in time where it's what I call coasting. You get to a point where you can coast. Okay, once you work on one project at a time. You work on the water. You work on the sewage. You work on the gas. You work on the cabin, shed conversion, shack, as Chigger calls it. Obviously there's going to be things that come up in between that you're going to need to stop and, go over here a little bit, but you come back to it. You work on one thing at a time. Once it may take 4 or 5 years to get to a point to where you can start coasting. I call it coasting because you're spending less money. You own the land, so you don't pay a mortgage anymore. Okay. Figure, what are you paying rent? I know some people that pay $1,800, $2,400 a month. Okay, so yes, it costs you outright. He paid $1,600 for his property. Now he doesn't pay that $1,600, $1,800 in rent no more. So that $1,600, $1,800, it doesn't get to sit there, like you don't get to save it yet. It goes into your supplies. It goes into digging the well. It goes into building your shed conversion or your cabin or your shack, or bringing in electricity if you want to be on grid. But once you do all that and you have it all, that $1,600 comes in, and you're no longer putting out that $1,600 a month. So that's what I call coasting. So you have a way, and it takes time, but you have a way to eventually save that money and build up. And then if you have animals, someone said, even chickens cost money. Yes, it costs you roughly about $500 a year to feed a chicken, to feed chickens. And we're talking maybe 30 chickens at $500 a year. Figure it out. My dog eats more than $500 a year.
Yeah, he does. But out of those chickens,
and he ain't laying me no eggs, and he ain't giving me no meat if I need it.
Out of those chickens, you get eggs, you get meat.
They help fertilize the ground for your garden. They eat bugs.
Right. If you're in a wooded area, the ticks, the caterpillars, the worms. I mean,
right. They scratch up the ground. They leave fertilizer behind. There's so much of a plus to it. You know what I mean? And and if you're a prepper, think about. Listen. If you're a prepper and you think something's going to happen and the world's going to end, economic collapse or EMP, or again, like we said, you'll have food, you'll have water, you'll have your own electricity, you have your garden, you'll have things that other people won't have in that situation. And that's where, it boils down to it. We want to become as self-sufficient as possible. Come on, back here. We want to become self-sufficient as possible, and obviously, yeah, they cost money. It costs money. It doesn't, nothing in life is free. My daddy always told me if something in life is for free, there's something wrong with it. You know what I mean? It's always going to cost something. If it's your blood, your sweat, your tears, or money, whatever it is, it costs something. It's never going to be free. Even when you are in the coasting stage where you're saving a little bit of money because you no longer have a mortgage, you no longer have a rent payment, you still have to put in that effort. You still have to put in the blood, the sweat, the tears. There'll never be a time where you're just like, everything's done. We ain't got nothing to do. Just sit back and enjoy it all. No, you'll if you have animals, you have to get out there and feed them. You have to clean up after them. You got to fix fences. You got to, they get sick. Whatever. But those are your resources. So you want to take care of your resources, just like you take care of your car or your house. Those are resources. And I go on a tangent for hours on this, guys. But like I said, I'm just blown away by all the support you guys have given us. And, some of you have been here since the beginning, and we truly appreciate that. Chiggers has been here since the beginning. Prepared has been here since the beginning. Lisa, my kids, Tina, a lot of people, and we appreciate that. Because again, we didn't start YouTube to become famous. Everybody makes a joke. Oh, you're going to be famous. That's not what we're here for. Listen, if you don't know me yet, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm already famous. Okay. Wow, listening to you guys talk me up, such a moral boost. Well, we're very proud of you, man. Listen, you went out there, you're by yourself. You took that long trip. What took you, 4 or 5 days? You had your car break down. Listen, bro, you did things that some people are afraid to do, my man. And what you did, some of the things that you did are stopping some people from doing them. So I want them to see your channel and see that you can still do it. I mean, I'm not going to ask your age, and I don't know how old you are, but I can tell you're not no, young buck. You're not no 18, 19-year-old kid, and you're out there still doing it. And you're doing it at your pace. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people. I had a comment. Someone said, oh, at my age, I can't, do something. I really want to do something like that. But at my age, I can't do something like that because all the work that would be involved, I'd never be able to get it all done. Mm-hmm. You do it at your own pace. Listen, I got a lot of health problems that I don't talk about. We won't get into them. I mean, there's nothing life-threatening. It's, I'm old. I got bad knees, a bad back. I have a hard time walking long distances.
I thought we weren't getting into it.
We're not. I didn't get into specifics, meaning exactly what they are.
Okay. I'm kidding. Okay.
I'm gonna give you the look you give me.
Okay, yeah, that look doesn't
work. Don't work.
It only works for me.
But we know that. I know that going into this, but I know what I'm capable of. I know what she's capable of. And if it ends up just being me and her, we know what we're capable of. We're willing to do it little by little. I don't want anybody on this channel or anybody else in the whatever I want people to understand that we do things at our pace. Okay. You don't want to watch us do it slowly, then don't watch. That's okay. Then you're not the type of person that we were, projecting towards anyway. You know what I mean? Look at you looking all cute on camera. You're just trying to show off, huh? Well, I know. Look at you just trying to show off. You want Dad's attention. Dad's busy. Dad's busy preaching. Huh. Talk to Mom. See, I'm not doing no talking tonight because this is a lot of Dad's information. But oh, you're 11 minutes behind. So much for your Wi-Fi. That's all right, buddy. You know what I mean? Listen, we just appreciate you stopping by and showing us support. Like I said, you've been here since the beginning, and sometimes some of your support has been behind closed doors. We talked, you know what I mean, on your channel a little bit. Sometimes you message me. Again, guys, we have the Facebook page. Again, the link is down in the description. We also have an email here. If you have questions or want to get a hold of us that way, or we don't answer something, You can leave it in the comments. There's multiple ways to get a hold of us. I have an Instagram page, but I haven't put it up there yet. I'll put a link to it here soon. I got to finish creating it. We just want to show people, like you're doing, Chigger, show people that you can do it. That you can do it. And that's what's important. That's what's important to us. If we end up making a $10 or $5, a penny, okay, we'll add it to the rainy day fund or to the building fund or whatever comes from this channel will go back into this channel. But that's not our goal. Our goal from the door was not to make money from this channel. Our goal was to show, first of all, show our journey, to videotape our journey, to have record of our journey for my children when they're when I'm gone, when she's gone. Maybe help some people in the process. Put out the information for people that are afraid to do what we're doing. Listen, I get all kinds of backlash from people I know, people I love, people I care about, my kids, family, friends. You're crazy. You'll never be able to do it. You're crazy. That's what stops this world right now. Right now. That is the problem with this country, this world, is people think they can't do it, so they don't do it. Worked in a blueprint shop, and then civil engineer, then a land surveyor. So I'm very comfortable with reading plans and putting the county's checklist in the plan. Right, that's good, right? You know a lot of that. That's, you know what I mean? And those are things that I'm researching and learning. Like, I know how to read blueprints. I did construction and things like that. Never did no land surveying or anything. But, a lot of my jobs were, I was a nurse for a while. I labored for a while, did a bunch of laboring jobs. But I know that we can do it little by little. And with the support from you guys and the support you guys are showing, I know we can do it, and listen, that's all that matters. And we're going to do it little by little. Easements and setbacks, right? He's a little bit behind. But, and anybody can do it. It doesn't take a lot of money. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. Now, effort, the word effort, it means something different to everybody. Mm-hmm. Some 18-year-old kid, he can go out there and work 10, 12, 14 hours digging ditches or working on a homestead, digging. And then you got people like us who may only be out there 4 or 5 hours a day, 6 to 8 hours a day, you know what I mean? But break it up, you know what I mean? Work 2 hours, take a break for, 10, 20 minutes, work another hour or two, take another break for 10, 20 minutes, you know what I mean? And that's what you're going to see on this channel. You're going to see some people that ain't, the healthiest, but this is going to help my health. This is going to help me lose weight. This is going to help me mentally. Like every time I think about doing this, I get excited and I can't wait to every day have something to do. Every day go out and walk out my front door and be able to change my landscape, my world around me. I really want a bathroom with hot water, a sink to wash hands, a shower, and a pretty normal toilet that flushes, maybe a flusher upper and a biogas bag. Right. Oh, you're talking about biogas bags. Yeah. I've never talked about them yet. That's one of the things I'm looking into a little bit, doing research on it. I heard you talking about it. I've seen them on there before. Biogas bags are, it takes, compost and, your waste, and you put it into this bag and it makes a biogas that you can reuse, like propane. You can use it to heat your house. It'll, obviously we know that, some waste has methane. I was trying to think of the word. I worked in a coal mine and we had methane, and I'm trying to think of the word methane. But biogas can be reused to heat your house or heat up a greenhouse or things like that. And you're not actually putting the gas out. You're actually using the gas like a propane. You know what I mean? It goes into this bag and then there's this tube that comes out and then you hook it into an incinerator or whatnot. And yeah. Eventually, I'd like to build my own septic system and have a flushing toilet. Yeah, that's what I'm working on, finding some information about what the best scenario for us to go into, toilet-wise. Toilet and shower-wise is going to be one of our biggest endeavors because, we're not gonna build. Digging a well is going to be one of the expensive parts of it. We know that, and we're ready for that. But you can, some places now, Triggers, where you're at, you can't do this because the water's so deep down. But hopefully, where we are, we have, even if I have to pay to have it drained every 2 years, like the HOA did back east, that was not bad, right? Yeah, you know what I mean, right? And I mean that's smart either way to have it cleaned out every so often. But you can do what they call a sandpoint well, which is only like 25 feet, 30 feet, which you're not tapping into like the deep well, obviously. And you can do sandpoint more than 25 or 30 feet. But you have to buy different type of pumps. They have hand pump for 25 feet. And in some places, where the water lines higher up, you can tap into some of the shallow water and you can get water that way until you can afford to dig a deep well. Like I said, guys, there's ways around it. You got to do your research. You got to think about it logically. Okay, they say this. How can I do that and be, conforming to what they want me to do, but do it in a way to where I can afford it and I can still live? With the technology that we have today, there's millions of options, and there's millions of different things you can do.
Oh yeah,
millions of different things you can do, and we've researched a lot of them. The biggest problem is people telling you can't do something, or believing they can't do something. You can do it. Believe me.
You can do anything you set your mind to.
There's lots of times we won't get into some, but we've had our bumpy roads. Even before we knew each other, we had bumpy roads throughout life, and we made it. Like my kids, they, every once in a while there'll be, a car breakdown, or, this will happen or that'll happen. And it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. And I tell them, in 5 years, you'll look back on this and laugh. You'll say, that wasn't the end of the world. Why did I, you just got to keep working, even at your own pace. If it's 1 day at a time, 1 minute at a time, and you'll get there. You know what I mean? And that's where we're at, and it's just going to be, a hilarious ride, guys, because I'm sure you're going to see some things, because we try, like I said, we try not to edit out anything. We try to show you the real life, the real,
my Christmas Eve, video. That was unedited. That was everything that I recorded. I just put it together and plopped it up there.
And listen,
I made a mistake on one of my cookies. Fixed it with y'all. Recorded, Jackson doing his thing for Santa Claus, writing a letter to Santa. Like, that was unedited. That was
in real time. Might as well be live, guys.
Right.
But that's the thing, though. We want it to be as real as possible. I don't want to be one of these people that edit everything out and show you the good things. And, oh, look how easy it was. Click. I paused the video for 2 hours, started digging, paused the video for 2 hours. Look, guys, took me 30 seconds to dig a 5-foot hole. Like, no. Obviously, I'm not going to make 5-hour videos, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say, look, yeah, okay. And your time, it may only took 5 or 10 seconds. But in our time, it took 5 hours. You know what I mean? We want it to be real, because we want people to see that if we can do it, anybody can do it. And you got to have that confidence. Confidence is a big key. We've talked about that from the beginning. If I told her from the beginning, if you don't have the confidence, then we shouldn't do it, because we have to have the confidence and know that we can do it, because the minute you lose the confidence, you lose the war. It's over. And it's going to be hard, and there's going to be bad days, and there's going to be hell days, excuse my language. But there's going to be days where you suffer. There's going to be days where you rejoice. But just know that, you're making a difference for yourself. You're making things the way that you want them to be. Like today, right now. I mean, it's 65-mile-an-hour winds. We were on a homestead right now, we are on a tiny home, but in a tinier home, or a shed conversion, or on our land. You got a lot to worry about. We got a lot to worry about here. We worry about the same things. Is the tree going to fall and hit my car? Is the tree going to fall and hit my house? Is this, is the tree going to fall and block the road? We got a lot of trees down. everywhere. You know what I mean? Got to go out and drive in it tonight and go to work. I got to come home in it tomorrow when they're calling for snow tonight. You know, but you can do it. And like I said, go watch my man at some snowboarder. That's Chiggers. But his channel's at some snowboarders. Snowboarder or not. He'll show you. He did it. He's doing it, and he's doing it by himself. Go. Odin over there whining. I know you hear the noise, buddy, and it scares you, but you can do it, and we're going to do it. And I appreciate all you guys' support. Appreciate you guys showing up all the time. Appreciate the views, the comments. Keep it up, guys. We're here for the long run. If there's something you guys want to see, oh, hey, prepare. We ain't forgot about you, buddy. New Year's Eve is coming, Trish. What plans we got for New Year's Eve?
We're going to do...
we partying it up?
No.
Odin.
I don't party no more. I don't can't. No, I can't do that.
You don't party like a rock star. You don't do that?
No. We're gonna do
probably be asleep before midnight.
I don't know. I might.
But go ahead. Sorry.
We're gonna do foil wrap meals. We're gonna do our pork.
We're gonna do our pork sauerkraut and hot dog kibasi. But she don't like sauerkraut, so probably do one with like the pork sauerkraut kibasi. I don't know if we're gonna need hot dogs. This is gonna be me and you.
Right.
Jackson's spending the night at his friend's house. Well, he's there now. He's gonna be there for a couple of days until New Year's Day. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you an innovative way to make it. We're not just gonna put them in the oven. Now, like I said, you can put them in the oven, you can put them in the air fryer, you can roast them on hot coals, you could put them on top of a stovetop, a cooktop, and a grill. I was looking at my pants. I don't know, but okay. But we're going to show you, and I'm not going to give it away. But we're going to show you an innovative way, and one of the ways that I did mention, obviously, that you can do this. And then we'll show you. We're going to do a couple meals like that, but we're going to do the New Year's Eve one like that. Trish came up with an innovative way that I didn't even think of. That is pretty cool. Come on, over here, right now, right there.
So that'll probably be Wednesday.
Yeah, well, you think you'll do that Wednesday?
I do what on Wednesday.
You think we'll have it out Wednesday?
Probably. I mean, if I get it prepped and everything, I mean.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what your plans were with that. Because she doesn't communicate very well, guys. If you haven't noticed, you know what I mean. She doesn't talk much today, not just because I was talking the whole time, but she has anxiety about the weather. She got to drive in it tonight.
These winds are pretty brutal.
You know what I mean? So don't take it personal, guys. Just a lot on her mind tonight, huh? But like I said, we're real. We keep it real. That's why I call it keeping it real with country called us. Said the country talks us. I'm goofy, guys. All right, guys, let me get out of here before I keep going on. We're supposed to be getting a little bit of snow prepared. I'm not sure. Is it tonight or tomorrow, Trish?
No, we're actually supposed to get 1 to 2 inches on Wednesday.
On Wednesday?
I don't work Wednesday, so it can snow all at once on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't have to go nowhere.
Are you getting any snow prepared? Getting any big snows up there, big guy, huh? I know you said it gets bad up there. Listen, we're looking for somewhere. We were talking about it tonight, real quick, guys. We were talking about it tonight about some of the places that we're looking at. We have a couple of places boiled down to a couple of states. And like I said, after New Year's, we'll get into that. I'll show you guys. I'm going to try to show you. You're not too bad. All right, prepared. I'm glad to hear that. You're probably used to it, though. As long as it's not too bad for you, that's all that matters. We're talking about it. We don't want to move somewhere where we get the same amount of cold and snow as we get here. And you're not going to expect, like I said, we move to Florida where it's 90 degrees every day of the year, or California out in Los Angeles.
No.
But we expect it to be cold and some snow, but don't want to go somewhere like we're talking about at one point in West Virginia. And more I researched it, there's not a lot of places in West Virginia that don't get a lot of snow. Kentucky, there's not a lot of places in Kentucky that don't get a lot of snow because it's in the mountains, the homesteading areas. Now, you may find cities and smaller, bigger towns in those states that don't get a lot of snow, but homesteading wise, a lot of the homesteading areas are closer to the mountains or up in the mountains, higher elevation. And I don't think that's going to work for us. So right now we have a boiled down, guys. I'll be honest with you, we have a boiled down to 2 states. We're thinking Tennessee or Arkansas. We thought about maybe Mississippi, but we'll see. So between those 2-3 states. So if you guys have any opinions on that, drop it down in the comments. Like I said, I answer everything, even if it doesn't make sense. Like I got people, saying they're sorry. That's all. Sorry. I still gave it a thumbs up and said, what are you sorry about? This is how I am. I like to interact with everybody. You know what I mean? If you're going to take the time to comment, even if you want to be troll, I'll comment back. You want to give me a troll comment, I'm going to give you a troll answer. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I see it.
Right.
I'm good for that, so it's no big deal.
Right.
But all right, guys, we've been on here a little over an hour. We can get off of here. Everybody stay safe. With the success will come the trolls. You're right,
true.
Prepared, and I'm ready for it. See, I have a good sense of humor, Prepared. I know I might not show it too much on here because she won't let me. You know what I mean? But
he's full of it.
You take care out there too, Prepared. But I have a good sense of humor. I like, listen, I like people. I like trolls. I can troll back. You know what I mean? We're ready for it. But all right, guys, we appreciate all you guys. Thanks for all the likes, all the subscribes. Keep it up, guys. Keep them comments coming. It helps to push the channel. We really, really appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Peace out and have a nice night.
See you guys.
See ya.